Hey guys, welcome back to another preview of Battlefield 6, and this time we're gonna have a first look at the game's single player campaign, or at least at 3 of its missions. Thanks again to EA for inviting me to this preview so I'm able to share it with you, and also for providing some more background information on the campaign and some B-roll footage. One thing that is important here though is that this footage is from a build that is still work in progress, so you might see bugs or glitches that will still be fixed before release. So the Battlefield 6 campaign is set in the year 2027. NATO is about to collapse while a new private military corporation called Pax Armada is taking advantage of the chaos and tries to gain global power. You, as the player, take on the role of several members of an elite Marine Raiders unit called Dagger 1-3. It consists of 4 members, each with their own unique abilities and strengths, and each member is also assigned to one of the 4 Battlefield 6 classes. So there is Hayes Carter, the squad leader and part of the assault class, Dylan Murphy, an engineer, Simone Espina, the squad's recon, and Cliff Lopez, a member of the support class. And with these guys, you take on the fight against Pax Armada across multiple continents and locations, such as Gibraltar, the US, or Tajikistan. Similar to the single-player campaigns of Battlefield 3 and 4, the Battlefield 6 campaign consists of a number of missions you play through, but in one coherent story. So it's not split up into different war stories anymore like Battlefield 1 or Battlefield 5 were. In the preview, we saw the missions number 3, 5, and 8, and I'm just gonna walk you through them a little bit, but of course without any major spoilers. So mission number 3 takes us to Gibraltar, and if you've seen the reveal trailer for Battlefield 6, you might remember this scene right here. That's the one where we were wondering if naval warfare is coming to the new game or not, but turns out this is a part of the campaign. And in this mission, our squad starts with a classic beach landing under heavy fire, and your main goal here is to keep your vehicle alive and destroy the enemy defenses. In typical Battlefield 6 style, of course. So everything is happening with a lot of explosions and destruction that you can and also need to use to your advantage as well. What I really like is that your squad moves pretty well throughout the maps and also calls out incoming dangers like tanks or soldiers and buildings, so you actually feel like you are part of a squad and not just a lone wolf player with 3 people running behind you. What is also coming back in the Battlefield 6 campaign are squad orders, and these were already part of Battlefield 4's campaign and allowed you to order your squad to attack certain enemies or spots. This is also an order you can give again, and then the squad opens fire on enemies you have marked, but you can also take advantage of the abilities of your squad members, which of course always depends on which squad member you are playing yourself. So you can order Carter to launch a grenade, Murphy to fire his RPG, Lopez to throw smoke to conceal a certain point, and Espina to survey the area and spot enemies nearby. But you can also pick up different weapons and gadgets yourself that are scattered across the map, regardless of the class your soldier has, so you can care about everything yourself if you want to. Depending on the selected difficulty, you also have a number of revives available that you can see in the bottom left. So in this case, it's 3 revives, which means if you go down, you can request a revive by one of your squad mates. And the higher the difficulty, the less revives you have, and the other way around. So in general, the campaign gives you a pretty good introduction to the gameplay mechanics of Battlefield 6, its weapons, vehicles, and gadgets, its 4 classes and their abilities, but also to the maps and their unique features. Another mission that was included in the preview is a night mission set in New York, and I gotta be honest that ever since Battlefield 3's night mission, I really loved them in video games. So I'm pretty happy to see one in Battlefield 6 as well. And this mission is mostly about clearing houses and moving from one house to another, so you engage in close quarters combat with your weapon and your hammer, have a FaceTime call with the villain of the campaign, use your night vision goggles to investigate the underground, chase a train full of bad guys, and blow up a bridge. And all of this really gives me strong Battlefield 3 and 4 vibes. But if the story is good, can't really be judged yet because we've simply not seen enough yet. What I also liked though is the last mission we've seen in this preview, which is mission number 8, and this one is not as linear as the other two, but instead opens up the map a bit more and lets you decide in which order you want to complete the objectives. The mission is set in Tajikistan, and your goal is to destroy several data links using the available arsenal of weapons and vehicles. So with the mission targets, Battlefield is also not reinventing the wheel this time, but instead sticks to a well-known formula that we've seen in other games like Call of Duty's Modern Warfare titles, but also in former Battlefield games. So it's not really something new, but it still seems to be a solid campaign that introduces players to the game and its narrative. And I honestly think that this is what a shooter campaign is supposed to do, because let's be honest, from the hundreds of hours that we will be spending in this game, there will only be a few hours spent playing this campaign, if people even play it at all. So if it's solid and just introduces you to the game, I think it's fine. Back to the missions, however, what's interesting in this one right here is that we see the recon drone in action, and in the single player campaign you can drop bombs with it, which is a feature we haven't seen in the multiplayer, so I'm guessing they actually dropped this feature before bringing it to the multiplayer. So some gadgets seem to be a little bit different in the campaign than they are in the multiplayer. And here in this scene, another character called Hemlock joins us that brings his TV missile to the field. Also something we haven't seen in the multiplayer yet, but where I actually could imagine that it might be added as seasonal content later on. At the end of this mission, we see the destruction of the dam that was also part of the reveal trailer already, and that's the end of the preview. So really just a sneak peek into some of the missions, targets and gameplay mechanics, and so far a good impression for a Battlefield campaign. I will definitely play the single player at launch just to have the full picture of what is going on and why we deploy to these locations in the multiplayer, and I'm already happy that Battlefield 6 even has a campaign and doesn't come with its lore written in an archive like 2042 did. And that was it for today. I know there are still a lot of questions that might be open about the campaign, but we really only got a very short preview of it, and I already tried to share as much as possible. So I hope you still enjoyed the video, and if you did, be sure to drop a like and subscribe, and I'm gonna see you in the next one. I'm Catwoman, and you are awesome.